Hi, Anyong, Hujambo, Mujawale, Kara here. Welcome to my channel. It is the first episode of A BooMSh. Today, I shall be sharing a story of triumph. This story revolves around the music video of the song Blood, Sweat and Tears. This audiovisual piece of art holds great significance in my life because it opened me to a new world. A world where my fire was rekindled, where I found myself, and where I started to even love myself. Peter Nunmur, translated as Blood, Sweat and Tears, is the title track of BTS's second studio album, Wings, which was released on the 10th of October 2016. The album is centered around the themes of growth, self-discovery, and visually is heavily inspired by Hermann Hesse's Damien, a German coming-of-age story that has Asian influences. In Damien, one of the main ideas being pushed forward is the necessity of opposing forces in one's life, and we see the play of good versus evil in the chase of props throughout the sets in the music video. Now, I'm not going to do an explained video talking about each of these artworks and their symbolism because there's lots of videos and articles out there where you can find that, and I have shared some of them in the description below, so be sure to check them out. I came across Blood, Sweat and Tears through the 2017 BBMS. It was after a hectic week and I was looking for something to entertain myself with. I remember seeing this group of Asian people who had the crowd going mad, people screaming. It was very unprecedented at the time, so it piqued my curiosity that I started to search about the group. And that's when I found the video and I indulged and I went down the rabbit hole of BTS content and the rest is history. The timing is what made everything meaningful. This found me recovering from a state of brokenness and emptiness that happened back in 2016. It was my second year of architecture school. I was already having issues with courses in the program that required more analytical approaches because I lean more to the intuitive spectrum of creativity. I was struggling to adjust, and on top of that, this friend of mine hurt me deeply. When the story is told, it sounds something so minor and my reaction so petty, but it was the last straw that actually broke my heart. This friend of mine failed to acknowledge my efforts and stand by my side when I needed them to, when they should have, and it just blew me out. My first heartbreak was over a class assignment, which today annoys the hormones out of me because it's not what other people my age are having their hearts broken over. But what she said and did triggered a crumbling in me that gave way to all kinds of insecurities that destroyed me from the inside out. I remember welling up and being so demoralized. I have never been one to cry in front of others, so I walked straight to my room where I cried my eyes out. It was not disappointment, it was not betrayal I felt. It was something much heavier and deeper. I to date can't find the words to describe it. It was like an opening of a deep wound I didn't know I had. Today, I don't hold anything against her because I know she was only a child like I was. She didn't know any better. Could she have been a better friend? Maybe. Is she the Judas to my story? Maybe. That's just how things ended up being. But it is now that I appreciate the part she had to play for me to be the person that I am today. Somehow, my inner chaos started to surface. I had no way of hiding it. My life was breaking to pieces socially, mentally, and even spiritually. And it reflected on paper. In this field, your work is an extension of yourself. And at that point, I had lost track of that myself. I developed a lot of trust issues. I was very conscious of myself that the only time I felt a bit free was in the night when it was all dark and there was an absence of light that at the time I thought could expose me to everything that was ready to devour me. I lost all my color. I was that bright, very smiley, happy child, but I didn't have it in me anymore. I was always good with words, but they left my tongue that time. I was in a state of numbness. I stopped attending lectures, tutorials, and presentations for a while, and of course, I earned myself a number of retakes. One, a studio course being a prerequisite to another studio course, which meant staying behind. It made me feel sad for a long time, but I eventually became grateful that I didn't have to study with some of the people that sucked the life out of me. I spent like 2 weeks just locked up in my room, having everything ordered and only getting out to use the washrooms, because then I was still in a hall of residence. It is in that period that I magnified my unhealthy relationship with food. I ate to comfort myself that I steadily got to the heaviest I've ever been. I went from 70-something kilograms to 90-something, and added load to the long list of my insecurities. After a period of locking myself up and crying my mind out, I tried to get back to dealing with life, and that is when I came across BTS. It was the styling, it was the set design, it was the hair and makeup, it was the directing, the editing, it was their voices, the comfort that lied deep in the lyric, the choreography. Every element of this glorious composition was so carefully crafted. I saw me in it. The music video materialized what I was feeling, all the confusion, the fracturedness, the struggle, and when that theater broke, I felt it. It symbolized my state, that state of losing my religion. For me, it was divine, like God's way of showing me a bigger picture by breaking and tearing apart my little world to be thrown into a big and better one, and there couldn't have been a better companion, better example, better role models than these babies right here. So for them and their team, I'm grateful. Seeing the perfection they were on stage and in the music videos, and having that juxtaposed with their offstage selves, their personal stories and struggles particularly touched me because I was going through a hard time myself. Beholding that vulnerability and goofiness still able to contain and radiate such power just freed something in me. I felt encouraged a great deal to walk through my own hardships. I can gladly say blood, sweat, and tears ushered me into my coming of age. I was like a butterfly getting out of a cocoon. I was open to a world that already was and that I was in many ways a part of, but this time I had a transformed mind. I wore wings so beautiful as though painted by the sky, and I was ready to fly. That is the influence of BTS on me. In a time and space where I felt so suffocated and closed in, they gave me the permission to be. And that is where my enthusiasm for K-pop, K-dramas, and Korean culture was back. I was so inspired that I got the courage to live through what I can openly call the most hellish experience of my life, that is university. I even got 2 more piercings in my right ear to remind me of my getting up. They actually were inspired by Jimin's, and I got them on the 3rd of July 2017. The army were the second best thing that happened to me, because I cannot say the amount of times I died of laughter where other things could have been killing me. I watched close friends graduate while I was still stuck in the system. It could have been way more lonely and depressing had I not found this support system, BTS and Army. And you would think, what could people miles away do for you? But I must say, they kept me sane. They strengthened me to get back into the world, to live, to connect with people again. The compilation videos were everything. The fan art, the fan fiction. I was so inspired by the fandom that I started drawing again, writing again, and even found a new love, editing, so I started making videos. I literally got back my color, got back my words. I also started communicating with other fans online because I didn't have anyone around me at the time to share my excitement with. Although I did open a few people's eyes to the goodness that is K-pop and the awesomeness that is BTS. And I have friends approaching me right now in 2021 with news of joining the fandom. For a fan, there is no greater reward than having as many people share in the beauty of this world, this movement that is BTS. So I'm grateful that BTS decided to be BTS and to go through all the hardships they had to go through to be where they are now. Burahe, I hope you let your light shine, and in that you'll be lighting other people up. Till next time, Tulavagane. Bye.